So welcome back to the Creativity series, and today 4 of part 3. Now, hopefully over the last few days you've had the opportunity to settle in to the new rhythm of this particular practice. I think this particular exercise is interesting in so much as, because there's a focus on stillness, it's very easy to think that you're not doing it right if thoughts arise in the mind. That's not what I'm talking about when I'm talking about stillness. When I'm talking about stillness, I'm talking a place of awareness. That spacious place of awareness from which you see thoughts clearly. It doesn't necessarily mean that thoughts stop. And in fact, if you think about the nature of creativity, we need to experience thoughts, we need to experience feeling in order for that creativity to be expressed in some way. So more than ever, actually, in this particular exercise, it's absolutely fine if thoughts and feelings arise in the mind, as long as they arise within that space of awareness, that space of clarity, of spaciousness. And that's what we mean by stillness. So with that in mind, just take a moment now just to get comfortable in the chair, on the floor. And when you're ready, take a few nice big deep breaths. And with the next out breath, just allowing the breath to return to its natural rhythm in and out of the nose as you close the eyes and just begin to become more aware of the other physical senses. And as you bring the attention back to the body now, just checking in with yourself to see how the body is feeling. If there are any particular areas of comfort or discomfort, and any areas that you might be resisting a particular feeling. So as always, just starting at the top of the head, scanning down through the body, all the way down to the toes. And at the same time that you become more aware of the body and of those feelings, also becoming more aware of the emotional quality of mind. Remember, it's very easy to miss, to not see clearly the emotional quality of mind. But simply in noticing how you approach this particular part of the exercise, you can often see the emotional state, whether there's a sense of softness, openness, patience in that investigation, or whether there's a sense of hurry, or of agitation, or of frustration. So just looking to see what that emotional tone of mind is, without any judgment at all. Remembering to be clear about your motivation, why you're doing what you're doing. Remembering how that benefits those around you. And as always, knowing that there's really not very much you need to do here. It's about watching a process unfold and being present for that unfolding. So with that in mind, you're starting to notice that natural rhythm of the breath in the body, that rising and falling sensation. And just taking a couple of minutes to settle in to the rhythm of that breath. So regardless of whether you're counting the breaths or simply watching the breaths as they pass, now just bringing to mind that pinprick of light in the center of the chest, in the middle of the body. So you're still aware of the breath, still aware of that rising and falling sensation, but the focus, the attention, is now on that very bright spark right in the middle of the body, remembering that within that is the potential for every creative thought that could possibly exist. It's that idea of the blue sky, that it's always present, but so often we don't see it because we're caught up in the clouds, too busy looking in the wrong place. And for now, just watching as that pinprick of light begins to expand. Qualities remain the same, no matter how big it becomes. The intensity of brightness, of warmth, and of spaciousness. As it expands throughout the body, and it's as though you're just watching something happening. It feels very pleasant. It softens any discomfort in the body. Perhaps softens the feelings in the mind. As it continues to expand through the limbs, to the hands and the feet, and all the way to the top of the head. So it's now as though the entire body has that feeling, that sense of spaciousness, and the image, the quality of brightness. And that is the focus of your meditation today. So still aware of the breath, but the attention just very gently placed on that image. And the next time the body exhales, I'd like you just to imagine that feeling of spaciousness in the body just expands that a little bit further. Bring that same quality, that same feeling to the space around you in the room. And just letting the mind go. And now just bringing the attention back to the body, back to the feeling of weight, gravity, back to the feeling of touch and of sound. So just becoming more aware of where you are right now. As you just gently open the eyes and you take a moment just to not only appreciate how you feel right now, but also just to be clear about your intention to maintain that sense of spaciousness throughout the day today. Right now you can just take a stretch. As I say, always good to just to appreciate what it feels like to take a little bit of time out for yourself, knowing that's going to benefit you, but it's also going to benefit those around you as well. And just remembering today that applying that sense of spaciousness, when you remember what that feels like, right there in that moment, that is the reality. It's not that you're projecting an idea onto something and trying to maintain it. In remembering it, it spontaneously arises in the mind. And for as long as that continues, that is the reality. And this is a really important sort of point of differentiation, I guess. We're not trying to think in a particular way. We're not trying to apply a positive state of mind. We're not trying to project an image which isn't necessarily true, actually. As soon as you remember that quality, there it is in the mind. Even if it only lasts a second, half a second, doesn't matter. For that moment, that is the reality. And the more often that happens, the more it becomes your reality, the more familiar it becomes, the easier it is to access, and the more creative and more spontaneous you'll feel in every moment.